Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana. We're here today with special guest, Robert A. Wilson, who's here to share with us my cowboy wisdom. So what if everything you've been taught to fear, suppress, or explain away is actually your greatest power, waiting to be expressed in your own liberating lingo? Well, today's guest is here to share with us just that. Robert A. Wilson is not just a speaker, but a tempest of down-home charm and profound wisdom that resonates on a frequency that speaks to the human spirit. His words? They're not spun from the silk of opulent boardrooms or echoing from the marble halls of the elite. They are forged in the heart of life's furnace, hammered with experience and cooled in the soothing streams of empathy. They are real, raw, and resoundingly human. Cowboy wisdom, hypno-acuity, is hypnotherapy without the drama. Cowboy wisdom is pure liberation that shows you the way to stop healing the past and quickly liberate your now by liberating yourself from you and your viewpoints, opinions, and beliefs. So welcome to the show, Robert A. Wilson.
Well, thank you, Marianne. It's my honor and privilege to be here. I enjoy being on your show.
Well, I always enjoy the content you put out and the last discussion we had. So, what a treat it is that we get to talk again. And I understand you have a program called Why Am I Dangerous? I'd love for you to share that with us.
We keep telling everybody how dangerous the world is. Then we become obedient to a dangerous world. So I was walking out in the desert and it says, "Why am I dangerous?" And when you say that out loud, just go ahead and say that out loud, Marianne. Why am I dangerous? And see what you feel. When I said it, it cut right through all my overthinking. It allowed me to have the colorful curiosity to ask, why am I dangerous? It's because I encompass talents that are unique to me, but don't fit into the socialized way of life. See, we're called individuals, never groups of people. People's a group, but we're individualized entertainers of our own dreams. And what we're afraid of is our own talents. And something I discovered for myself, and I can only talk about myself, and I really learned that the more I express my stuff to me, and I express it to the world to show the world a better way, I liberate me from me. And that is a key statement. I liberate me from me, my viewpoints, opinions, beliefs, childhood, and ancestors' programming. Because we still are encompassed and ingrained with our ancestors' programming. But when I said, why am I dangerous? It just kind of shut down and opened up. It shut down the inner chatter for me. And when I really says, and then when you have something unsavory going on in your life, why am I dangerous to this situation? Gives you the authentic audacity to listen and question that situation. Because you're really going to listen and question your way to the penthouse. You're going to think, no, and talk your way to the outhouse. And that is something I'm really good at, is talking my way to the outhouse. But when you really open up to it and stop talking to the outside world like it's doing something, all the outside world is, Marianne, is showing you your limitations. And that's your inner, guidance or whatever word you want to use. That outside world is showing you your limitations, your bliss, and all your good. But we're so used to blaming the outside world, we never get to hearken and listen to the wisdom of our daily life. We avoid our daily life, and that's where the wisdom of the here and now resides. But Marianne, that's where we get to thinking the outside world did something to us. The outside world didn't do nothing to us. We did it to ourselves through our sympathy, our trauma, drama, thinking, and knowing. And it's always somebody else's fault. Something I really expanded into. I'd have never had a challenge in this world if it wasn't for my egotistical arrogance, know-it-all ignorance, stubborn stupidity, hard-headedness, and thinking I had to be right. I'd had no challenges. We create our own challenges I call it my stubborn stupidity.
Well, I think that is just so wise. And I love how you talk about how most people seek comfort, but you provoke clarity. Can you share on that for us?
Yes. You know, when you step on a cactus, you get a poke, right? Well, that's what the outside world is. It's a cactus of celebration. It's going to poke and prod you till you listen and get the situation. And clarity comes from adversity, chaos. And chaos is a celebration of liberation. And that's something I really opened up to understand. I celebrate the liberation, understanding it's like a fog bank on a spring day. When the sun comes out, you burn the fog away. Well, when you open up to clear the clutter away from in you, you open you up to the clarity of your own wisdom. See, everybody is trying to use the knowledge of the world. Well, thinking, knowing, knowledge, learning, and thoughts is all from yesterday. So you're going to think, know, learn, knowledge, and the thoughts are all from yesterday. So we never get out of yesterday. But when you open up to listen and question the here and now, you open up your wow of wisdom, optimism, and wonderment. Because curiosity is going to rise you to the mountaintop. Thinking no is going to sink you to the bottom of the ocean. Because everything we think and know was taught to us from somebody else, and it all comes from yesterday. So you think and know your way to yesterday. And I know that's going to sound kind of different to people, but when you open up and admit, because everything we was taught in school is from somebody else, everything we learned in school is what somebody else wanted us to know us. And we're sitting there answering what the teacher wanted us to understand. It was always her way. You've never been shown the way that you encompass the wisdom, insight, clarity, and inspiration to experience your desired lifestyle. And it ain't life, it's lifestyle. What is your lifestyle? So you got to get kind of forthright with yourself. And that's something else I'll share with you guys. I don't use word boundary. Boundaries are fears and limitations. It's contours. I see the contour of my life. I never get into a corner because a boundary is a dead end and it's fear down the road to face and brace. But when you use the world as a contour, if you ever look at a map of the earth, it's always in a contour. And if you use a contour, you always you can have an obstacle in your way today, but you can contour around it and put your energy around it. And if you're listening to your daily life and all the little nuances that go on, something's going to come to you to dissolve that obstacle. And see, that's something else everybody is afraid to do, Marianne, is embrace and experience their daily life. We do not communicate with our daily life. We always say, something I learned in self, well, it's always above your daily life. Well, your daily life is your liberating invitations, fostering, emancipating events, encounters, and experiences for you to be liberated from you. See, all this stuff you think is happening in the outside world, it's not. It's inside you.
There's something I like to touch on, and it's the fact that you word things in such a magnificent way. And I know you're called a signal wave sculptor. Can you share what that means?
Signal wave is what you listen for from within you. It's really a heart wave, but a signal wave, you hearken the signal wave, it dissolves the thinking and knowing where you've been because you're in the here and now. See, that's why people have, when somebody says intuition and they say you got to think and live, if you say think and know, you shut off the intuition, imagination, innovation, and you're listening. So when you're listening for the signal wave, you're quiet within yourself to rise of the sovereign veracity of what you're hearkening. And the word hearken, I didn't realize this till about a month ago, but the word hearken is the deepest listening there is. So if you hearken the wisdom of your life, you liberate the internal freedoms every day. Life tells you what it is. It's liberating invitations, fostering emancipating events. Luxuriously invigorate them, forthright energy every day. And I'll share this with everybody. I took the words EN, energy, ENER, ENERGY out of my life, I use energy. But energetic liberation shuts off all the thinking no BS. Because really you want to rise out of everything you think and know to listen for the wisdom you encompass. And everybody encompasses a sleek, unique wisdom, insight, clarity, innovation. It's all sleek and unique to you. So whatever you do in the real world, and this is something my keynote today is weaponized past. They've weaponized our past against us, so we never get out of being obedient to our past. It isn't following it. We're stuck in obedience. We're obedient to whatever it is. And something I'm gonna understand: self-help, personal growth, self-improvement, therapy, it allows you to obedient to something else. When you wake up to your sovereign, sassy tenacity and authentic audacity, you throw that BS out the door and watch it flow away, because every person encompasses a sleek, unique talent, but it's unique to you, and what everybody else is telling you will never open you up to your sleek, unique talents. So when you listen and question your day, you're going to unleash yourself upon yourself and not be a follower of socialized, weaponized stuff against you. See, the biggest thing, I wrote a keynote the other day called Sovereign Leadership. If you look at the world and get really open and honest, all the leadership in the world is obedient leadership. It's obedient to society and whatever it is. And I'm going to be honest with you, Marianne, business and education is never rising this world out of scarcity and poverty. Because we've been in this since I was born, and it's still scarcity and poverty. But what will rise the world out is innovation, communication, and connection with contours of celebration, as we start understanding we all have the talent to rise us up. Because I did a podcast called Why Wages Are Never Inflationary. That is propaganda used against us, because it's actually the filters through management makes it inflationary. People's wisdom is the only thing nobody can repossess.
I know so many people want to get to a place where they're not trapped with these illusions. And I love how you talk about that our illusions are maintained by politeness, performance, and approval addiction. Can you share on that with us?
Yeah, it's called obedient leadership to yourself. Yeah, we want to fit into society instead of dissolve society. See, we've been socialized program, and through all the systems that we're involved in, it never allowed us or told us to innovate our genuine talents, because we want to fit into the railroad tracks of life. So if you look at life, it's like a railroad track: business, education, and everything in between. We fit in. That's called obedience. And your sovereign savvy will never fit into the railroad tracks of life, because we're liberated souls that we haven't turned loose yet within ourselves. And it's really about getting down. And it's a simple sentence: I admit to me whatever I'm hiding from the world sets me free. Everything you've experienced in life, Marianne, is to liberate the world. Because if you're going through it, half of the society or somebody else is going through it. And if you admit to it and you awaken to it and then express it to the world, you liberate the world as you liberate yourself.
The course that you have, Liberation Through Friction, it dissolves barriers and blockages.
Ah,
Can can you share on that with us?
yeah. As soon as you set a goal or an intention or whatever, what's the first thing that comes up? Barriers and blockages. They're not barriers and blockages. It's friction from where you are to where you want to go. So if you start questioning that, you'll never think and know your way from yesterday to today or from today to tomorrow. You're going to listen, question, and open up your energetic, liberating wisdom to do it. And see, it's friction. It's never a blockage. It's friction. It's friction within you from here to here. And see, we've been taught, well, I got this going on, so that's got to be me. No, it's just friction. And when you take blockages and barriers and understand that's friction, who can question and listen to their daily life or even question? And something else, don't go telling everybody your story because they're going to use your story against you. They're going to weaponize your story against you. That's a word I just started using yesterday, weaponize. Whatever somebody wants to hold against you, they're going to weaponize it against you. And really, it's wisdom, energizing acumen to move forward. But friction, you take the word barrier and bondages out of your life, and I said, okay, this is friction. Where am I holding myself hostage? Nobody else is holding you hostage. The only person you're afraid of is your own talents. And see, all this other stuff, I stopped listening to self-help, personal growth and stuff 2009 because I listened to it for 10 years, nothing moved for me. And when I hear people say, well, do you want to change your life? Well, change, heal, create, transformation, forgiveness, all that, all you're doing and shift, that's a sideways movement. But when you rise, energize, and expand out of it, what are you leaving behind? All the crud. See, most people we're stuck in the obedience of self-help personal growth. Cowboy wisdom, hypnoacuity, and what I do is liberation. The one you're going to get liberated from is you. I'm never going to tell you what to do. I'm going to show you what to do. I'm going to show you how I expanded my life. And if that works for you, that's fine. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine. But it's going to be cutting the obedience to socialize sabotage out of your life. And we've been taught socialized sabotage without even knowing we've been taught it.
Well, earlier you touched on a word, energized listening. And I would love for you to share on that with us because I think that's such a big piece.
Well, it's energetic liberation, energized listening. Well, energetic, you feel it. You want to feel the words that come from inside from your core. See, energize is all external. Energize, enterprise, but inner words are internal words, and they come from your core. It's called core whisperation. That's wisdom and inspiration together. That's one of my words. I like making up words. The world don't fit in my life. I'm chauffeured in my own trails of triumph my way. But yeah, the word energize, when you say it, you feel it. And it's like something else I'll express here. Read this. All you're doing is going into frozen in time representation. It's now do, now circuit, now begin. You got to bring everything to the here and now in order to move forward. And see, when somebody talks about the past, I'm going to say something, probably get some nice remark. When you are trying to change, heal, create and innovate and forgive your past, you never get out of the past because the past is what's controlling your thoughts. But when you let go of that and start energizing your wisperation, I love that word. It's wisdom and inspiration. You rise out of it. And something else, you want to express your inspirations to the world. You want to express your dreams to the world, but you want to express them so you rise out of the past. You know, I've been around this since 1997, but I watched the world. They're still trying to talk about the past. Well, the past is the present. The now is the present, and the future is the present. You got to magnify, you got to dissolve the friction of the past, energize the now, and color the future in the images of your inspiration in the here and now. It's really, if you can really open up to understand, express your inspirations in your daily life. And the first words out of your mouth in the morning are the ones that set your day forward. But if you wake up and says, I am sovereign, I am grand, never, everybody says, well, say I'm enough. No, I'm sovereign, I'm grand, I'm rich, I'm healthy. Make it an expression of inspiration rather than a mundane word of life. Get the authentic audacity flowing. Get them veins of fame flowing with audacity, miraculously expanding through life with ease. And I'll share that with you. Whatever you do, and when you finish something, that was easy. Just every time I don't care if you're draining a swamp, you got alligators hanging off of both legs when they let go. That was easy. But if you bellyache about everything, you make it a drama, that drama never leaves. And something I've been to hypnotherapy school, and what really was ironic to me, it was a long course. And at the end of the course, people were still talking about the same stuff that they started with. The only one that can liberate you from you is you. All this other stuff is good. But that's why I call my stuff hypnoacuity, because it's here and now awareness. Therapy wants you to come from the past. Well, hypnoacuity is here and now. And that's all you have is right here, right now. And what happened yesterday don't matter. How are you going to color and design your future through the here and now? See, and when you say the word new, it never brings you to the here and now. It's fresh. My fresh foresight, my fresh innovation. See, fresh you feel within you. And another word that I got rid of is mindset. Because once you say mindset, you're into your opinions, beliefs, viewpoints from yesterday. It's scenarios. This is the scenario I desire to experience. Once you say mindset, you're into the resistance of your own self.
That really makes sense when you think about it, how simple you break this down so people can take it and really reconstruct a new life with this.
Well, I did a podcast called The What Mindsets, and what I discovered in this is when you say the word mind, it starts going back and it's going to find the first thing that occurs that mirrors that and replays it, and it's usually pain. The mind loves replaying pain. So if you use scenarios, that mind can never get in, get caught up in it. Now, it's letting go of the indoctrinated mind binds. And that's what the world is indoctrinated mind binds. School is an indoctrination of what people want you to know. Has zero to do with what you are. So when you really start, you got to let this. I've been at this for over 5 or 6 years, but the more I stopped using the words of yesterday and got my own, I call it liberating lingo, because the subconscious mind can't latch onto the negativity of anything. That subconscious mind hears the words you speak and it sleeps. It don't care. But a liberating lingo of expand, energize, enterprise, experience. There's a lot of them. But the most liberating thing I did is let go of thinking no. Because I listen, inspiration instead of thinking, understand instead of know, comprehend instead of learn, wisdom instead of knowledge, and revelation instead of thoughts. I never go into my history of my weaponized past. And everybody talks about the past. Well, if I can keep you thinking about the past, will I ever let you go as a client? But if I can get you to start talking and experiencing the here and now, will you become liberated? That's a question you want to ask yourself. How will I liberate me from me in the here and now? Of the here and now. In is in, of is above.
So I know you've touched on some of this, but what are some liberating questions that people can ask to start moving themselves forward?
The first one is, why am I apprehensive about my talents? Why is this the best day of my life? What is the innovative wisdom that's going to rise me out of yesterday, here and now. How does today mirror yesterday? And that is the big one. How is today mirroring yesterday? Write it down. What is the liberating invitation I hearken today? You got to open your listening eyes and your seeing ears to move through life, to rise out of yesterday. And how am I doing what am I doing today that I did yesterday? You got to get very blunt with yourself. And here's the thing, man. I can tell everybody a whole bunch of questions. But when it comes to liberation, it's your own questions. It's open-ended questions. Imagine me strolling through life with zero challenges. Imagine me strolling through life in a colorful way. Just start getting little things. And is it going to happen immediately? No. Is it going to happen 10 years? No. It's going to be every day something. Because life is fresh every morning. What is your sovereign liberating innovations? And the word sovereign and liberation are the things that will rise you. But why am I liberating me from me today? And that is the key saying, I liberate me from me. And see, that's one thing. You listen to all the 12-step programs, as good as they are. There's one thing they never allow their clients to say. I liberate me from everything. And I liberated me from me. And see where it goes from there. But it's really about liberation over change, heal, create, and transformation. And instead of forgiveness, it's appreciation. I appreciate that situation because when you appreciate it, you take all the angst away from it and give it to yourself. Appreciation, liberation, innovation. Just stop using words that keep that subconscious mind bound and wound in yesterday. And stop setting boundaries. And you can make it a contour, but if something unsavory has happened, it is going to happen every day. It's not, oh, I'll set a boundary and I'll be free. No, you set a boundary, you set new fear. Why am I apprehensive about this? What is the wisdom I'm being showed, but I'm afraid to hearken? It's about asking questions of the here and now. And because a lot of times we let people intimidate us because we have this, we're taught, oh, he's like a CEO, puts his pants on just like you. And a lot of times they want to use that arrogant force so you don't question their insecurities. Egotistical arrogance, know-it-all ignorance is immaturity, insecurity, and fear. And I don't want to be rude to college-educated people, but a lot of college-educated people use that arrogance to cover up their insecurities.
I think that that's just remarkable how you broke that down.
Well, the thing about it is, education is what everybody else wants you to know. Wisdom is what you listen for and hearken from your daily life. If you take the word think, know, learn, and knowledge out and use, this is what my wisdom is speaking this. My innovation is saying this. You use the words innovation, ingenuity, any word. And this is the thing. There's no set thing. There's no paint by numbers in liberation. It's are you willing to fall down, get skinned up, and laugh at it? I got a class called I Laugh at Me, I'm Free. If you can laugh at it, you can discharge it. But if you get all wound up and stressed out, you're going to be stressed out about that situation for the rest of your life. And something else, people get all fired up about everything. And if somebody's getting all fired up at you, you just stand there and just kind of calmly. And then when ask them if they're done, say, thank you, I got to go. Well, that just shuts them up because they don't know how to answer thank you. We don't know how to talk. We don't know how to communicate through thank you and we don't never communicate with good morning. Good morning's a liberating word. And something else I'll share with everybody. The only one that can ruin your life is you. So I have a saying, the only one that can ruin my day or my life is me. And I took the right away from me. Everything you think is going on in the world isn't. It's going on inside you. The world is innocent. I taught myself to think everything was guilty and vindictive and all that. It's like the shame game of blame and shame. You blame the outside world, feel shame inside, then you got a new fear. But if you can figure out a way to make fun of it and make it a joke, you liberate yourself. And stop taking yourself serious. That's the biggest one. I go walking every morning in the desert and I say good morning to everybody. Some people say good morning, and I think some people are going to take off running because people don't understand. Everybody is liberated from the world when they liberate themselves from themselves. And also, I'm going to emphasize this, and I've been, when AI first come out, I refused to use it. Well, a friend of mine, and then I started asking it questions. And the more unsavory question, not unsavory, but the more limiting, I asked them about my limiting beliefs, like, why am I dangerous to chaos, challenges, adversity, and controversy? And the words come out like this. I innovate friction into fuel. Where others flinch at chaos, I lean into it with alchemizing adversity into sovereign activation. As my present never endures a challenge, it configures it into celebrations. See, just things like that. But when somebody says, I want to change my life, I cringe. They don't want to liberate and experience freedom. And if you take the word self out of your life and use sovereign, you quit going into the selfishness of yourself. And the words we speak, Marianne, is the words that will liberate us from us. Because if you try to change something, you're going into I just started this morning, it's a weaponized past. Every thought about the past is weaponized and making you a servant to the past. But it isn't the past, it's the here and now. Everything is here and now. I don't care the future, everything. It's all being innovated from right here in front of you. And if you stop trying to fit into society and thinking you stop thinking people know more than you, all they know is a certain thing. They don't have your unique wisdom, insight, clarity, inspiration, innovation, imagination. And I'll share this with you. As soon as you say think and know, that shuts off intuition, imagination, innovation, your sleek, unique talents. It shuts off the here and now. It takes you into the weaponized past to control you.
That's such a profound piece. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. There's one more piece I'd like to touch on, and you talk about this dynamic burst of spiritual energy that rises within us. Can you share on that for us?
It does rise within us because the spirit is outside of us and it comes in. But the spirit energy is something that's inside you. And to tell and set and describe it, it's just a free flowing, sovereign blessing that's within you. But you feel it and it's got to come. See, we always are talking, thinking no, and trying to do it from the sovereign energy comes from the core. It's core soul surgency is my spirit energy that invigorates me, because spirit and the soul, they never, there's no fear. Fear is in the thinking, knowing, subconscious mind recollection. But a spirit energy is just a flowing, it's a flow of gusto within yourself. It's an exhilarating free moving energy. Energy. And it's something you got to open up to understand it. But once you feel it and hearken the wisdom of it, you'll rise out of the past. And see, we're never going to rise out of the past if we keep teaching history. And I wrote this yesterday. We've been taught the misery of history. We've never been showed the wisdom of history. And if I can keep you in the obedience of history, can I control you for the rest of your life? Yeah. History was never about what happened. It was about what the wisdom was being shown. But if you were controlling the world, would you want people to understand the wisdom of history? No. And so much of what we have in our life, Marianne, has been weaponized to control us. And I know weaponized sounds like a big word, but all it is, the word weaponized cuts through the thinking. Right. It goes right to source. That's what I've really learned. The signal wave, that's from source. My source. Everybody has their own source. Sorry, we don't. It's not all this stuff. And quit fascinating yourself with self-help personal growth and start liberating you from you and rise and shine and unleash that prime time divine trend-setting energy within you. Rhymes are fun.
I know from our last discussion, there's more to rhymes than just being fun. It is, I learned from you that it actually helps dysregulate some of this thinking that we're doing.
Yeah. They taught you in grade school rhymes. And that child inside you still likes rhymes. I chime the rhyme of prime time trend-setting tenacity to rise above my daily life to enjoy my cloud nine ride. See, that just takes over the inner dialogue. It's like a song. It's the easiest way to rise and get your inner dialogue speaking inspiration, never positive. See, that's something else. Positive thinking, subconscious mind. Inspiration, the subconscious mind is fascinating. You want to entertain the brain, and you want to use like rhymes entertains the brain and the subconscious scenarios of your dreams. What's easier, subconscious mind or subconscious scenarios? Which one is liberating? I like scenarios. And the one thing I'm going to say about scenarios that a lot of people have missed out on, scenarios, you can put your sense of smell in. I smell my sea breezes of sovereignty. Smell is the strongest sense we have because it goes directly into the brain. I entertain my brain with smell.
That's so powerful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I know you have many facilitators and coaches and educators that you work with. How about entrepreneurs, people have their own businesses, or just ordinary folks like me?
It works. I do it with everybody. I believe in liberation. And the thing about it is, and I wrote this, and the blue collar, the hourly worker are will rise the world as much as anything. But it's really about everybody becoming an autodidact entrepreneur. Autodidact is self-educated. The enterprising prowess within us will rise the world. And this is especially the one about friction, liberation of friction, that is for business. Because, when the business starts a new project, they got things going, there's always blockages and barriers and all the yesterday's BS going on. But if they'll open up to learn, this is the friction today. What is the questions of liberation of the here and now? It's always the questions and listening questions of the here and now that'll rise you out of everything. Because you're never going to think and know your way out of yesterday. You look at the world today, Marianne. I was born in 1958. I'm 70 years old. And what is different today than in 1958? Not much. You take technology and computers, Middle East still can't talk. Congressmen, businesses, they still can't talk. They can never communicate. There is no communication and connection among people until we get to let go of the business, and education is going to take care of us. Get to understand it's communication, connection, and contours of our own wisdom will move the world. The word contours over deal. It's fun to watch when you look at a map and the contours of the earth. That's just the way contours work. They just float through the air. You're never in a blockage or a boundary with contours. And it's just liberating. But liberation over change will forever free you from you. And because when you say, oh, this is the one I really want. When you say the words change, heal, create, transformation, cognitive recollections control you. When you say liberation, you got a free flowing energy. It's really a free flowing energy of intuition, imagination, and there's no blockages in it. Because we are free flowing energy. It's our thinking, knowing, and what we call the human side is our controlling side. But are we really human? That's my favorite question. Because the only time I know I'm human is what a book told me. And anything that comes from a book written by that bunch, I question it. Why can't I be a free flowing energy? We are. It's our thinking, knowing, and what we've been taught in school is the blockages to that. My free flowing energy will get me in enough trouble. Actually, get me in more trouble than my human side. But see, that's why I'm a troublemaker magician. Troublemaking gets me into trouble. My magician gets me out. Because it's all liberating wisdom. We're afraid to use our everyday life as liberating wisdom, not knowledge. Anything you was taught in school is a cognitive recollection of control.
That is just so impressive. My goodness. It's always just so enlightening being able to spend time and speak with you, Rob. Where can our listeners go to connect with you, learn more about your courses? Because I know you've got quite a few just amazing courses.
Well, it's all on mycowboywisdom.com or my cowboy store. The thing about my stuff, it never tells you what to do. Never. You tell people what to do, you're stuck in yesterday. They're going to show you a fresh way to liberate you. It's my cowboy store, my cowboy wisdom. I got a podcast on Tuesdays, Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursday. I'm going to start having guests on and stuff. But it's really about understanding you can follow all the gurus, but they're never going to show you liberation because I want your money. I show you a better way here, and then I'll come with something new. And all it is if you listen, innovate, boldly enterprise, rebellious, audacity today, you invigorate, optimistic now. That's liberation. It's really about liberation. And you open up to understand all the books and everything everybody else has is a limitation to your sleek, unique talents. But it's all on mycowboywisdom.com, my cowboy store. But my courses are about everyday life. Everything is talking about the future or the past. No, it's here and now. I talk about the here and now, and it's about communicating and connecting to yourself to be able to go through the world.
And can you share with us the name of your podcast?
Cowboy Wisdom.
Well, that's as straightforward as you get. So,
Here's the
well,
thing about I grew up on a cattle ranch. My uncle's farming operation. We had 750 head of cows, 1,200 head of hogs, 1,000 acres of grain, 1,000 acres of corn. This was in the late 70s. And I learned how to rope ride all the broncs and stuff. And then I moved to Wyoming. And I says, there's no way I'm going to have a horse that sits there and eats while I'm working. Because them horses love to eat. But anyway, but what I learned on the ranch is every time we worked cattle or we did something farming, you always had to be listening and being in tune with what really is kind of ironic. And then I drove truck. You had to be in tune with that truck, the farm, or the tractor, what's going on. Because when things have a hum. And when something goes wrong and that hum ain't humming, you better stop and get it taken care of. And that's what I think kind of clued me into this. And when you was working cattle, you had to be aware because they may look docile, but they love to run over you and kick you. So you better be awake. And of course, me and my cousin, we'd kind of try to create it so they'd run over the other one. Farm kids are ornery, but they're natural pranksters.
Well, I think that says a lot right there.
But the thing about it is, the only one in the world that is going to rise you out of where you're at is you. It's your own words, your own liberating lingo, your own innovation, you're the fashion designer of your dreams. And everybody can say they can help you, but they can never liberate you. You liberate you.
Well, Rob, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
It's my honor and privilege, Marianne. You're one of the best interviewers in the world.
Oh, well, thank you, Rob. You are such an inspiration, and I know you help so many people move beyond what keeps them stuck to live a liberating life. Make sure to visit Rob's website at mycowboywisdom.com, be part of his community, learn about his courses, and make sure to tune into his new podcast, Cowboy Wisdom. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.